Why, hi everybody, and welcome to Reed's Spider-Man Crawl Space Edition. Check us out, the SpiderManCrawlspace.com. Well, everybody, it's time to do that because that's right, it's time for part three. Get it? Part three. See what I did there? I guess it would have worked better if this would have been a red pen, but you get my point. Death Spiral as we review Venom 255 by Al Ewing and Carlos Gomez. So, what happens now is we find out if Carnage ruled. Well, it used to rule back in the 90s. Anyhow, let's get right to the crawl. I'll have to do this. Al Ewing does get a lot of parts. I really do like what they did with Eddie Brock here. This is a very things something Charles Soule has been doing in the own series about really having Eddie Brock being a very torn the fact that he is now Carnage and trying to keep the Carnage symbiote in check. And I do like the fact that Ewing actually does pull this into and exactly why Carnage has been kind of set up with Torment and of course the pieces. I do like this because it works very well with the whole two opposite sides of it. Because let's face it, Eddie does not like being Carnage, but the reason why he's doing it is for protection of the fact that anybody else with a Carnage symbiote could be very dangerous. And I also do that. Also, it's great to find out what's been going on with the Sinister Foes. I mean, unfortunately, we lost Herman the Shocker and everything, but it's great to see Fred because he was returned during Venom War. He was resurrected and brought back to life. So it's kind of nice to see the kind of pieces of that with the bar with no name as Venom, Mary Jane, and Peter Parker as Spider-Man go in here. It's also good to find out what's actually been going on with Tombstone. I feel like we've actually been using a nice set of Tombstone after he was a huge part of Zeb Wells's run. The fact that we do see that Tombstone has been doing plenty of things as the organized kingpin of crime in that, and the fact that how much he has, been hiring people, and the fact he used a lot of the sinister forces, and of course the death of the Shocker has made things up. So the fact that he warned them the Vibro Shockers have been taken, and both Venom and Spider-Man are off to find him. The murder mystery is very interesting too, that we find out what was really going on. The fact that Eddie Brock ended up finding out that everything with the Carnage symbiote had set him up when he was asleep with whoever Torment is to start taking out his family. And it really starts hitting home when it goes to his father. And we do know Eddie Brock and his father do not have a great relationship. It's not a horrible relationship, but if you've ever seen the TV show The Way Back Home, it definitely explains things between Nick and Elliot, the father-son relationship here. And I do like how we get into this, and of course, some of the family lines, which really hasn't been talked about. And that's something I will give both Kelly Ewing and Charles Soule about working it. So it feels really nice, like there is some stake, and the fact that the story is got a point to it. Cons in here. By the way, everybody, we finally find out, even though it's been hinted at, exactly why does the gold exist on Venom? Why it's anti-Carnage? We had anti-Venom, but the gold is anti-Carnage because of everything that happened in Venom War and the whole symbiote with the Omnitrix. So that's actually what it is. It's actually set to take out, of course, the King in Red, which is a future version of Carnage from the Venom War storyline. So the fact it's kind of thing, but the problem is it's kind of like, really? That's the explanation of gold all the way? Okay, you got me there, Al. I'll give you that. But it kind of comes to the point to where they're attacking Carnage, and it's pretty much obvious that Carnage is not who he is. And of course, it's Peter realizing that there's something really off with this. Also, the fact is when we do have them break away with everything, and the fact that the Bible condoms aren't with Carnage. Of course, if they just would have followed them, they would of course found out about Torment, who of course is rules and's got the Vibro Carnets, and has been waiting for Carnage to show up. It definitely leaves that there's some kind of connection here with whatever is going on, who Torment is, and we do have a lot of suspects on that, including Clues Cassidy, possibly the original Carnage host, or it could be connected to some other characters. We do know it's not Dylan Brock, but at the same time, there is a certain character out there in the Venom storyline that this could end up being. It's still got a decent murder mystery of it, and you do feel bad for Eddie, and I will give the writing pretty well, and the artwork is absolutely gorgeous by Carlos Gomez, so I will give him up because it feels like the emotions, seeing the bar with no name, it really keeps the storyline from being too prompt. So I will actually give the story a B minus. It was not bad. So I actually have to say I'm looking for the Carnage versus Torment because in part 4 will of course be the battle with him, which Charles Soule, who's the writer of Eddie Brock as Carnage, will be writing the storyline. So it should be interesting. So you know what? I really do kind of a bit enjoyed it. It's not been the best crossover, but it's not bad of a storyline. It feels like Spider-Man. It feels like Venom, and it does feel like Venom and kind of a Will Trent kind of mystery, which kind of works, but you know, we'll see what happens in the future. Well, on that note, guys, I'm finished with that, so we'll get ready for the next part here in the next week here with Death Spiral. And for more information, just check us out on Discord, our website, or the YouTube, or Instagram, or other social medias here for the Spider-Man Crawl Space. And for more information, of course, check us out at the SpiderManCrawlspace.com. And I will see everybody for the next part of Death Spiral. Have a wonderful weekend.